Hello everybody, this is TipTopMTG here today with another Magic the Gathering video. In today's video, we are going to be looking at a fun infinite combo in Standard that allows you to win the game on the spot. So generally, whenever a set comes out on MTG Arena, I follow it up with an infinite combo kind of video. And so in the past, we've drawn infinite cards, taken in infinite turns, generated infinite mana, done infinite damage, all that sorts of stuff. And in today's video, we are getting infinite enter the battlefield and exit the battlefield triggers, which we are going to use to deal infinite damage and gain infinite life. Now, I want to start this off by saying this is not a good combo. The point of this video is not, hey, look at this awesome combo that is going to be meta defining. It's, hey, look at this janky combo that's never going to actually work, but it's really fun. Yeah, why don't we jump right into this? So this combo revolves around 4 cards: Bastion of Remembrance, Maskwood Nexus, Glasspool Mimic, and Orah Skyclave Hierophant. So this is essentially a combo that, how it works is Maskwood Nexus makes all of the creatures in your hand, library, battlefield, all of that, they make them all creature types, which turns Glasspool Mimic into a cleric both in the graveyard and on the battlefield. So what happens is, you have Orah on the battlefield, who is going to bring back clerics when clerics die, and what's going to happen is he's going to be on the battlefield, you cast Glasspool Mimic as a copy of Orah, and then because Orah's legendary, you have to choose one of them to sacrifice, so you choose to sacrifice the Glasspool Mimic. And then that one goes to the graveyard. Because the cleric died, you could just choose something with lesser CMC. Now, because Glasspool Mimic entered the battlefield as a copy of Orah, it had CMC 4. But in reality, in the graveyard, it has CMC 3. So that means it is a valid target for itself. So it can bring itself back from the graveyard onto the battlefield as a copy of Orah, and Bastion of Remembrance is what is going to get you that win. Now, technically, this combo is only 3 cards: Maskwood Nexus, Glasspool Mimic, and Orah Skyclave Hierophant, but you need to turn this into a win, and, you know, the combo itself really does nothing on its own, so you do need something to go with it, but if you can find other cards that can benefit off of ETBs or leaves the battlefield triggers, that can also be put in there. The biggest problem with this combo deck is that, outside of Bastion of Remembrance, none of these other cards are super easily replaceable. If you go into Historic, you do get a couple other options for Glasspool Mimic, but Orah and Maskwood Nexus are pretty unique, with the exception of Arcane Adaptation, which you may be able to do inside of Historic. So going into Historic, you can get a couple more substitutes, but in Standard, you are pretty much stuck to these 4 cards, which means you have to get one of each of these, and there's only 4 of each in the deck, and that's assuming you have 4 of each. So it is a little bit of a janky little combo, but why don't we go take a look at a game where I pull this off, and then we can also just kind of talk about the combo a little bit more there. All right, so yeah, this deck is a white, black, and blue deck, and honestly, how I built this was essentially, it's going to be a little bit of cleric tribal and a little bit of tutoring, and so I wanted to build the deck in such a way that you could stall if you needed to by gaining life with clerics, and then you could also then go tutor using things like Coveted Prize and Grim Tutor in order to go get the combo. Now, this is assuming you're building your deck to do this. My favorite combos are the ones that can fit in a deck, but maybe don't. For instance, I did a combo where you could get infinite turns using a bunch of cards, and, you know, it was one where the kind of deck that it would want to go into, like, would want each of those cards individually, and if you happen to get all of them together, you just win the game. But this one definitely is more of a you have to build around kind of thing. But honestly, Maskwood Nexus is one of my favorite cards. You could probably throw in the World Tree in here and just cheat out all your creatures into play using Maskwood Nexus. Very fun stuff here. But yeah, again, this deck was kind of designed to be cleric delay. In terms of the, like, combo itself, it is a very, like, simple combo. The one thing that can be messed up when you're actually executing it is that if you click on the wrong thing to sacrifice. MTG Arena does not ask you which creature do you want to sacrifice. It asks you which creature do you want to keep. So you need to make sure you're keeping your original copy. And generally, that will help you. There are a lot of combos with Maskwood Nexus that I've seen just because there are lots of cards that are not meant to be the types they are or not meant to interact with other cards, but they do when you add Maskwood Nexus to the equation. So it's definitely a very, very interesting one here. And so the deck, again, not very good. I will have the deck list in the description down below. So if you want to go check that out and see kind of what I'm running, you can. But generally, I don't really advise really ever picking up my combo decks. most of the time I'm playing these just to get it off. Like, I'm not trying to go and build a deck that's actually going to be played in ranked. I am simply trying to show you what this combo looks like on MTG Arena, and so that's why I run things like Coveted Prize. You may not. You may just have these in a cleric deck, because that would be the one type of deck I could really see running this in, is a cleric deck. Maskwood Nexus isn't awful on its own just because it can create clerics with excess mana. Coveted Prize and things, I guess, are fine in cleric decks. But yeah, I could also see party decks maybe running this, with Glasspool Mimic being a rogue, Orah being a cleric, Maskwood Nexus making it so it doesn't matter what creature types yours are, and it can create tokens that contribute to your party. And then cards like Coveted Prize, like in my hand, are payoffs. So I think, honestly, if you're running a party deck, you may want to consider throwing this combo in, just because most of the pieces in there will do something for you. Bastion Remembrance is a little iffy on that front, but yeah, I think it's definitely an interesting combo that's a little bit different than anything I've done in the past. We've done things like Veto and Sanguine Bonds. No, what's the other one? It's Sanguine Bonds and Exquisite Blood and Veto in Historic. We've done lots of really fun stuff, and this one is a very, I don't want to say simple, but it's a very loopy one. And I almost did another one with another clone card, because honestly those make it very easy to go infinite, where we would like clone a saga that returns things to the battlefield, and we'd like get legendary versions of it by copying it with a creature. Either way, we can go, if we're talking about gameplay here, we can go tutor for Orah. Next turn, we'll be able to play him, and then if we can untap, we can play Glasspool Mimic. Now, you'll notice our opponent really isn't doing much. They're trying to ramp. I'm pretty sure this is Team Ramp. And so pretty much we just need to get this off before they do anything. But part of the reason I really love infinite combos is that technically they can go on and cast their ultimatum, and it doesn't really matter to me, because as long as, they can have all the creatures in the world that they want, assuming they don't get a Nugan, as long as my creatures are here, I can win the game no matter what their board state is, essentially. So as long as they and if they get a Nugan, they probably aren't going to use it because they just got a bunch of other stuff too. So it's just overall, at this point, it just looks like I'm playing an Orah deck. Like, legitimately, an Orah cleric sacrifice deck that wants creatures, wants to benefit off of Orah's ability, so it's using Maskwood Nexus. It does not look like I'm about to win the game next turn. I mean, Orah is something that you do definitely need to be worried about, but when he's the only thing on the battlefield and there's nothing in a graveyard, it's not generally a huge threat. And so I am just really hoping he doesn't remove Orah here. And at this point, I'm like, oh, he's not going to board wipe because he wouldn't have played a creature into it. And so then he plays his creatures, and at this point, I know I've won. So I cast Glasspool Mimic. It enters the battlefield as a copy of Orah. We choose the original one, the one that does not have Summoning Sickness, which triggers Orah to bring something back. So I bring back Glasspool Mimic. Now, because there were two Orahs on the battlefield, you actually get two triggers of it. I chose to bring back Speaker of the Heavens. That way I wouldn't keep getting that trigger. And so that's basically what I did. Now I'm going to speed up this next part of it. So essentially, I just do all this. I enable it so it doesn't ask me to auto-order them. So essentially, it just turns into clicking. But if you do have things in your graveyard, you are going to want to bring them back, because when Orah dies, it sees itself dying too. So you get two triggers. So you'll be bringing back all of your clerics to the battlefield, and then you will also bring back the Glasspool Mimic. So yeah, that is how the combo deck works. Again, if you guys want to see my deck list, it's in the description down below. If you enjoyed and found this video fun or useful in any way, hit that like button, subscribe to see more awesome content like this, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.